welcome to Auto News Talk. So, picture the classic car dealership model for a second.
Oh, I think we all know it.
Right. You know exactly what it looks like. You've got the inflatable tube men flailing in the wind out front.
Yep.
You've got the high-pressure sales manager. And the ultimate goal for decades was to just, push as much metal off the lot as humanly possible at all costs.
It was entirely about volume.
Exactly. Volume, volume, volume. But what if I told you that entire era is officially over?
It really is.
We are stepping into a massive paradigm shift in the auto industry right now. Survival for these guys is no longer about sheer volume. It's about protecting your margins, cultivating this intensely specialized knowledge, and defending the showroom against highly sophisticated, high-tech threats. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, here's the terrain we're walking through. Because the modern dealership ecosystem is it's undergoing a fundamental rewiring.
Like a total teardown.
Exactly. We are moving completely away from that empty volume and those aggressive, old-school closing tactics.
Thank goodness.
Right. Instead, we are looking at a landscape where deep product expertise, life cycle customer retention, and advanced fraud compliance are the ultimate competitive advantages.
So the whole grind it out to hit a factory bonus thing.
Days of simply grinding out sales numbers to hit that factory bonus are rapidly disappearing.
I find this fascinating because it reminds me of, like, a restaurant completely overhauling its identity.
How so?
Well, when a diner has that massive, chaotic menu with like 100 items.
Oh, yeah, a binder, basically.
Right. And they were just bleeding money because they can't manage it all. And then they finally decide to cut it down to just, 3 or 4 high-profit signature dishes.
Yes.
That is exactly the energy we are seeing from automakers right now. I mean, they are actively walking away from unprofitable sales.
That is a perfect analogy, honestly.
Yeah.
And, a strategic update on Ford's sales numbers reveals exactly what this looks like in practice.
Okay, what are they doing?
According to the report, the automaker is intentionally taking a significant sales hit. Intentionally. They are actively shifting away from low-margin business to prioritize highly profitable retail customers.
Wait, so they are choosing to sell fewer cars?
Basically, yes.
That sounds, entirely counterintuitive for a massive global manufacturer. How does that actually work?
Well, it comes down to where the vehicles are actually going. The update notes they are winding down production of the Escape and the Lincoln Corsair, but the real eye-opener, the really big move, is their fleet strategy.
Okay.
They are drastically reducing their daily rental fleet sales.
Wow. Because selling to rental companies, that's always been the easy out, right?
Oh, totally. For context, selling thousands of cars to a rental company is a classic volume play. It keeps the factory lines moving.
Sure.
But the margins on those bulk sales are just razor thin compared to, say, selling a fully loaded truck to an individual consumer.
Right, you make way more on the luxury truck.
Exactly. And at the same time, the overall market is softening, largely due to consumer affordability issues and, elevated interest rates.
Which are brutal right now.
Absolutely. So Ford is pulling back on that low-hanging fleet fruit and focusing heavily on recovering production for their F-Series trucks.
Because that's their cash cow.
Exactly, which is their true profit engine.
I was reading through that same report, and the scale of that pullback is just staggering to me. It mentioned that Ford's rental sales were intentionally slashed by 96%.
Yeah.
96%. You do not accidentally drop your rental volume to near zero.
You certainly don't. And the implication here is profound for the entire industry. Automakers are prioritizing the financial quality of a single sale over the sheer volume of total sales.
They want the good deals, not just any deals.
Right. They want highly profitable retail transactions, not just impressive-looking production numbers on a spreadsheet.
Okay, playing devil's advocate here for a second.
Go for it.
Is it possible, this is just incredibly good PR, like if consumer demand is actually tanking because cars are just too expensive, couldn't an automaker just spin a massive drop in sales as a, strategic choice?
Oh, that's the big question.
Because it really remains to be seen if retail buyers will consistently materialize at these higher price points to make up the difference.
Yeah, that is the exact vulnerability in this strategy. It assumes the high-end retail buyer is always going to be there. And, what this doesn't answer is whether this strategic shift is actually masking a broader, more permanent weakness in consumer demand.
Which is terrifying for a dealer.
Oh, absolutely. And that leads to a critical operational challenge for the dealerships themselves.
Right. Because if you are a local dealer and the factory is actively choosing to send you fewer cars.
Yep.
And you are intentionally chasing fewer but, higher quality customers. How on earth do you keep the lights on?
It's a huge problem.
You have a massive facility to pay for.
Yeah.
If foot traffic drops by half, you can't just churn and burn through customers anymore.
Which is exactly why the business model has to flip from acquisition to retention.
Okay, retention.
Yeah, if you are selling fewer vehicles, you absolutely must maximize the lifetime value of the ones you do sell. An operational analysis focusing on dealer profitability breaks this down perfectly.
What do they find?
It argues that long-term dealer survival relies almost entirely on post-sale retention.
So bringing them back in.
Specifically in the service department, yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than just throwing endless money at expensive marketing to find new buyers.
Because acquiring a new customer is wildly expensive, right? The digital marketing landscape is so competitive now.
Exactly. It's cutthroat. The analysis points out a crucial metric here. Dealerships are spending an average of $739 in advertising per vehicle sold.
Wait, really? $700?
$739.
Let that sink in. Just to get someone to buy one car.
Yep. Meanwhile, their actual acquisition costs for a retained customer, someone who already bought from them and comes back, sit way down around $180 to $235.
Wow.
So it's a fraction of the cost. The math just screams at you to keep the people you already have.
It's a complete no-brainer. But how are they actually doing it? Because, sending a coupon in the mail for $10 off an oil change doesn't really build loyalty anymore.
No, it really doesn't. And the operational analysis highlights that it's not built through flashy ads or cheap coupons.
Right.
It's built by removing friction and creating recurring trust. It's about clear, modern communication.
Like what, specifically?
Well, the dealerships that are winning are using automated text updates straight from the service bay. They're using seamless online scheduling, transparent mobile payments.
Oh, nice.
Furthermore, the service advisors have to become crucial educators.
Okay, educators, not salespeople.
Exactly. They need to guide you through personalized maintenance with actual video evidence of what's wrong with your car, rather than just, pressuring you to upsell random parts.
Which requires a total mindset shift. The dealership has to evolve from a place you go once every 5 years for a highly stressful transaction.
Ugh. The worst.
Into a lifetime service partner. Like when I come in for an oil change or a tire rotation, I shouldn't feel like a stranger being actively sold to.
Precisely. It is a full ownership relationship. Your most profitable customer is the one who visits your service bay twice a year for a decade.
Okay, I get that. But here is the massive hole in that theory for me.
Let's hear it.
Every time I drive past a dealership, they have a giant banner hanging outside that says technicians wanted.
Yes.
We are facing a massive blue-collar labor shortage. So how are dealerships supposed to become these high-volume, lifetime service hubs if they literally do not have the mechanics in the bays to turn the wrenches?
It's a huge red flag.
Like, you can have the best automated texting software in the entire world, but if the bay is empty, the model just falls apart.
You've hit on the exact operational bottleneck. What this operational advice doesn't answer is how dealerships are supposed to solve the severe technician staffing shortages needed to actually handle these increased service visits.
Right. It's a huge blind spot.
It is the single biggest threat to that retention strategy. But, let's assume they figure the service side out somehow.
Okay. Let's pretend the bays are full.
To get those high-quality retail buyers into the ecosystem in the first place so you can retain them, later, dealerships have to completely abandon their old showroom tactics. The new currency of sales is niche expertise.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because you cannot just wing it on the showroom floor anymore.
No.
Customers have the entire internet in their pocket. They walk in knowing the specs.
Exactly. And the electric vehicle market is the ultimate test of this required expertise.
Oh, for sure.
Data from a leading used EV marketplace illustrates this dynamic perfectly.
What did the data show?
They found that dealers who cultivate deep EV expertise turn their inventories significantly faster, and they maintain their vehicle values much better than dealerships that just treat EVs like regular cars.
Because the underlying mechanics are completely different. I mean, an EV is basically a massive computer on wheels.
It is, and the market for them is strengthening. The marketplace data showed used EV values are actually rebounding. with retail sales hitting 120,000 units in a single quarter.
That's a serious rebound.
It is, especially since it's happening despite previous fears that federal tax credits on new vehicles would just permanently destroy used EV prices.
So they were weighed down, but now they're bouncing back.
Exactly.
So how does a dealer actually capitalize on that? What does expertise look like in practice when someone wants to buy or trade an EV?
Well, it starts right at the appraisal. To profitably trade for an EV, the process requires advanced, hyper-specific knowledge.
Okay.
You aren't just checking the odometer, looking for rust, and measuring tire tread anymore. You have to understand battery health degradation.
Which is invisible to the naked eye.
Totally invisible. You have to be able to plug into the software and see how many fast charging cycles the battery has been through because that degrades it faster. You have to know the intricate software features and over-the-air update statuses.
Wow, that's incredibly technical.
It really is. If a dealer appraises a used EV incorrectly because they don't understand the battery chemistry, they can lose thousands of dollars on a single trade.
Which means the sales staff has to be incredibly educated.
Yes.
And from what I understand, the really smart franchise dealers are completely flipping the script on how they sell them.
Oh, absolutely.
I was reading that they are intentionally buying used rival EV brands at auction and sticking them on their own lots just to win cross-brand comparisons.
It's a genius move.
Right. If I'm a dealer selling brand X, I want brand Y sitting right next to it so my expert salesperson can physically prove my car has a better charging curve without you ever leaving my lot.
And the numbers completely validate that aggressive approach. The data points out a remarkable metric. Expert EV dealers turn their used inventory in just 30 days.
Okay, 30 days.
Now compare that to 59 days for your average unspecialized dealer who is just dabbling in the space.
Wow. 30 days versus 59 days.
Yeah, it's huge.
If you actually know the tech, you sell the car twice as fast. That is a massive cash flow advantage.
It is the difference between thriving and going bankrupt. With roughly 1.1 million used EVs expected to return to the market off leases, the implication is stark.
They have to adapt.
Dealers must either go all in on expertise or they need to abandon the segment entirely. Dabbling is financially dangerous.
But, think about an independent used car lot. Are they really going to be able to do this?
It's going to be tough.
It's one thing for a franchise dealer to know their own specific brand software. But how on earth is an independent dealer supposed to train their staff on 20 different proprietary software systems?
Right.
With varying battery diagnostics and completely different charging architectures across Tesla, Hyundai, Ford, and Chevy. The educational burden just seems impossible.
It is an immense burden. And quite frankly, what this doesn't answer is exactly how independent dealers are supposed to train their staff on such wildly diverse software and battery diagnostics across multiple brands.
Many of them probably won't be able to.
No, many independent dealers simply won't survive the transition because of that knowledge gap. But, what's fascinating is that this demand for deep, practical expertise isn't just limited to high-tech electric vehicles.
Really?
It applies just as strongly to the other massive demographic of buyers, families.
Oh, man. This mirrors a really powerful argument made by the car mom regarding family buyers. Have you seen this?
Yes.
She completely dismantles the way dealerships traditionally approach parents walking into a showroom.
She really does. The car mom's core argument is that dealerships actively alienate parent buyers by focusing on standard closing tactics rather than the specific practical logistics of family life.
Yes, because parents do not evaluate vehicles based on 0 to 60 times, or cornering ability, or even towing capacity most of the time.
No, not at all.
They view cars strictly through the lens of safety and daily grinding logistics.
Exactly. Traditional dealer training teaches a salesperson to highlight the engine specs or the premium leather seats.
Right.
But a parent is asking, can I get to the third row without a physics degree?
Literally.
How easy is it to buckle a squirming toddler into a rear-facing seat while holding a bag of groceries? Will a double stroller actually fit in the trunk with a third row up?
These are the real questions.
Right, and traditional dealer training completely fails parents here because it prioritizes the quick close over deep practical product knowledge.
The car mom advocates for a totally different approach to fix this, right? She's pushing for community building.
She is. She argues that dealerships should host car seat check events to build genuine community trust.
That's brilliant.
It is, and crucially, her own platform maintains strict independence from OEM or manufacturer money to ensure her advice to parents remains totally objective and builds real shopper trust.
There was one specific detail from her insights that just blew my mind because it is so incredibly true.
What was it?
She noted that the ultimate trust killer in a dealership is a salesperson incorrectly telling a parent where a car seat will fit just to rush a close.
Oh, it happens all the time.
Does it really?
A salesperson will just say, oh yeah, you can definitely fit 3 car seats across that second row without actually knowing the dimensions or the LATCH anchor placements.
That is insane to me. If you lie to me about the safety and security of my child just to secure a commission, you haven't just lost a sale.
You've lost them forever.
You have lost my business for life, and I'm going to tell every parent I know to avoid your dealership like the plague.
Because that is the highest stakes transaction possible for a consumer. The implication here is that specializing in practical family wins local market dominance. You build trust by knowing the logistical capabilities of the product better than the customer does.
Which requires real work. But here's the thing I keep wondering about her specific model.
Okay.
She is building this massive, highly specialized online audience and launching an independent review website, right?
Yes.
But translating digital trust into physical sales is notoriously difficult. So what this doesn't answer is the real-world conversion impact of their upcoming independent review website once it launches. Does that digital influence actually get people into local showrooms?
That is the million-dollar question for any digital-first automotive brand. Influence doesn't always equal localized sales.
Right.
But let's look at the best-case scenario. Let's say a dealership does everything we've talked about perfectly.
Okay, perfect dealership.
You trim the fat and focus on high-margin retail like Ford. You focus heavily on service retention. You train your expert staff on battery degradation for the tech buyers and car seat latch systems for the parents. You build this incredible high-trust environment. You are selling high-value vehicles.
Sounds like a gold mine. I'd invest in that.
It is, but as the value of these transactions rises, so does the sophistication of the criminals trying to exploit them.
Oh boy.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, technology is functioning as both the mandatory defense and the existential threat.
We are talking about AI, aren't we?
We are. A policy breakdown of the proposed Great American AI Act highlights a massive vulnerability in the financial side of the auto industry.
What's happening?
Generative AI has caused auto loan fraud to absolutely explode.
How does that actually work? Because people always talk about AI fraud in the abstract, but what does it look like when someone walks into a dealership?
It's terrifyingly convincing. We are seeing a massive spike in what's called synthetic identity fraud.
Synthetic identity.
Yeah. This isn't just someone stealing your driver's license. A criminal uses AI to combine real data, like maybe a real child's social security number, with a completely fake name and fake history.
That's dark.
It gets worse. The AI then generates flawless, mathematically perfect synthetic pay stubs, W-2s, and utility bills. They even use AI deepfakes to pass video identity verification checks.
You've got to be kidding.
By the time this person applies for an auto loan, the AI has built them a spotless 800 credit score.
So the finance manager at the dealership looks at the paperwork, the bank's automated system approves it, the criminal drives an $80,000 truck off the lot. And there is literally no real person to collect the payments from.
Exactly. They are lending to a ghost. And the numbers in this federal policy report are just staggering. Auto lending fraud losses are now 21 times higher than credit card fraud.
21 times.
Yes, and the financial impact is devastating. The average loss is hitting nearly $20,000 per fraudulent loan.
Wow.
This fraud is directly feeding into an alarming rise in national auto delinquencies, which are highly elevated right now. But the loans tied to these synthetic identities, those default at 3 to 5 times the normal rate.
So this proposed Great American AI Act, what does it actually do to try and stop this bleeding?
Yeah.
Because the dealerships are completely on the hook if the bank forces them to buy back a fraudulent loan.
The draft legislation takes a heavy-handed approach to create strict new AI governance rules for lenders and dealers. It requires independent organizations to strictly audit the AI models that lenders and dealers use.
Okay, so mandatory audits.
Yes, and crucially, it doubles the maximum federal penalties for AI-enabled fraud.
That is a serious wake-up call for the industry. The implication for anyone running a showroom is that dealerships and lenders must urgently audit their AI underwriting and fraud tools right now before these federal mandates hit.
They have to.
You cannot just wait for the government to knock on your door and tell you your software is non-compliant.
You really cannot. But here's the compliance nightmare hiding in the background. What this draft legislation doesn't answer is how these new federal guidelines will intersect or clash with the patchwork of state laws already on the books.
Oh, right, because states have their own consumer privacy rules.
Exactly. Navigating conflicting federal and state AI rules is going to be incredibly messy for the average dealer.
So what does this all mean? We've covered a massive amount of ground, from factory production lines to AI-generated pay stubs. Let's bring this all together.
When you synthesize all of this evidence, 3 distinct themes emerge across the board.
Lay them out for us.
First, we are seeing a definitive shift toward quality over sheer volume.
Right.
We see this supported by Ford's strategy of actively shedding fleet sales, which aligns perfectly with that operational analysis pushing for retention and service revenue over cheap acquisition.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And the second theme is the absolute necessity of niche expertise, right?
Exactly.
Because the used EV market data proves that specialized technical knowledge moves metal twice as fast. And the Car Mom's insights show that deep logistical knowledge, like knowing exactly how a stroller fits, wins intense family loyalty.
Spot on. And the third theme is elevated stakes and high-tech risks. As the margins get higher, the threats get more sophisticated.
Like the AI fraud.
Yes, driven entirely by that explosion of synthetic identity fraud and the federal government's scramble to regulate it with the Great American AI Act.
But you know, what really stands out to me are the tensions hiding beneath these shifts.
How so?
Well, we have this massive volume versus expense tension. You have Ford out there actively shedding easy fleet volume to protect their margins, making cars scarcer. But on the ground, dealers are still spending a massive $739 per vehicle on advertising acquisition.
It is a brutal squeeze.
It is. That direct clash between factory strategy and local expense is a squeeze that makes service retention the only viable survival path.
I completely agree. And the second tension is what I call speed versus safety.
Oh, this is a big one.
For decades, the traditional dealership mandate has been to close deals quickly, don't let the customer leave the lot. But the Car Mom explicitly fights against that rush to close because it destroys trust with families.
And now, with the rise of AI fraud, rushing a deal isn't just bad customer service, it's financial suicide. There is a serious tension there. Rushing an AI underwritten loan without proper verification can result in a $20,000 synthetic identity loss, exactly as the federal policy report highlighted.
Yep.
You rush, you lose trust. You rush, you lose 20 grand. The days of moving fast and breaking things on the showroom floor are just over.
Which brings us to the ultimate practical takeaway from all of this.
Let's hear it.
Dabbling is dead.
Period.
Whether you are selling complex electric vehicles, catering to the hyper-specific needs of families, or deploying sophisticated AI-compliant software to protect your assets, dealerships must commit fully to specialized expertise. If you just dabble, you risk losing your margins completely.
It really forces the industry to look in the mirror. Are you structured to be a trusted advisor, or are you still just structured to be a cashier?
Yeah.
Because the market has already decided which one it values.
Well said.
And that is a perfect place to leave it for this edition of Auto News Talk. The dealership of the future isn't just a parking lot with a sales team. It's a high-tech advisory firm where trust is the most expensive accessory you can buy. Next time you walk into a showroom, ask yourself, is this dealership trying to sell me a car for today, or are they trying to earn my driveway for the next decade? Thank you so much for tuning in to Auto News Talk. We'll catch you on the next one.